Today we're reviewing the installation of a chimney system, and for instance here we're going to start by looking at the stove we have because you need to determine the clearances for that specific model. So if we take out the brochure or the manual, in this case we're looking at the Heritage wood stove, and we'll find all of those stove specifications in the back of the book. And here you see a chart which actually displays either the use of single wall stovepipe with the Heritage wood stove here, or with a double wall stovepipe and a rear heat shield. So the first thing you do is determine where your stove is going to be located and lay out the drawing of the stove, or cut out some cardboard or newspaper and put it on the floor so you can see how it's going to fit into the corner or the flat wall installation where you plan on putting that stove, and then determine, for instance here, the back wall of the stove can be 7 inches from the wall with the double wall pipe or a pipe shield and the rear heat shield, or 16 inches with no shield and single wall pipe. Once you've determined where your chimney is going to go, then that will help you determine what pipe you're going to need, and that's what we're going to help you do today, is understand the parts you need and how they are assembled. When you're planning out your chimney system, here for instance in this manual, we will notice right away they're going to give us the specific dimensions for the stove, and then also the dimensions for the hearth requirements. You need to keep this in mind so you make sure that you have the correct floor protection. And then we go into the distances allowable from the wall, depending on if there is a single wall or double wall stovepipe and whether or not you have a rear heat shield. The double wall stovepipe or a pipe shield with the rear heat shield will always allow the most reduced clearances. In this case, 7 inches to the B dimension from back wall with the double wall pipe and heat shield, or 16 inches without any shielding. And of course in a corner installation it's a different set of dimensions, and it actually changes in this case very little, from 12 inches from the corner of the stove to the wall to 11 inches. So this is the first thing you want to keep in mind. It's also going to give you more information about the different types of installation, either a double-story, 2-story installation and how you'd penetrate through the upstairs, connecting into a fireplace, or a T system, which we do not necessarily recommend. It's the worst alternative for chimney draft expense and maintenance. Also, though, the most popular and best solution, single story, straight up through the roof. That installation would be the least costly and the most effective in many cases. So we're going to guide you through the parts that are necessary for you to make that type of installation. Thank you. To support our chimney from the ceiling, here we have the 3 most commonly used support boxes. And we'll start with the one for a horizontal or flat ceiling. Here we have the 6WCS. And for instance, it would be mounted in the ceiling something like this, up into the framing, so that the trim that's already mounted on it will secure around the support box. Here, the next larger version is 11 inches deep, and it has the capability of going up into a sloped ceiling or a flat ceiling before the drywall or ceiling finishes up, and then having the drywall cut to finish and being allowed to have that full 11 inches. So the ceiling could drop on an angle, for instance, so that it would make the bottom of the support box flat, whereas the ceiling may have a slope. For a much deeper ceiling, here we have an 18-inch support box, 6WROS, and that allows you to drop even into a much more severe angle of ceiling. You can see how this could have an angle which could go possibly even up to 512 or 612. We do have 24-inch and 36-inch boxes as well, so you can go to a deeper slope if needed. When using double wall pipe, this connector is used to connect them together, and you notice one side is just a little wider than the other. Now this connector will need to penetrate up into that support box, and it will have to pass through that opening. You see, it isn't ready to go through there right now, but it will have to be widened so that connects through and overlaps around the interior portion of the pipe that's within there. Here's an example of the double wall pipe that is connected by this slip connector, or a close clearance connector, that goes up into the ceiling support box and connects the two together. As you prepare for installing your single wall stovepipe, you have what's called your slip connector, and you'll see that there's a raised edge on this 18-inch length, and when it attaches to the support box, of course this is upside down, the seam will fit over like this so that it covers the stainless steel pipe. Here you see 1 foot, 2 foot, and 3 foot lengths of this particular brand that we're offering, white metal twin stack chimney pipe. And you can see that each unit has a label which describes which end is up, and you can see how one end has the male end exposed, which is always going down, and the other end which interlocks into it. So when the pieces go together, they're going to overlap something like this. I'm not going to cinch them together as yet because they'll lock into place, but then each piece will go together to stack up to the total length of pipe that's necessary. We do have elbows available for this material as well, so you can see how when the support box is up in the ceiling, that stovepipe will then be protruding about like that. So just the inner wall sticks through. Here you see how the roofing has been cut out so that the flashing will line up with the layers of roofing below it. We've then installed the storm collar. It's sealed with some silicone caulking, and then above that the cap slides directly into it.
Okay, so here we have samples of single wall pipe. On the left is a slip connector, on the right is a 12-inch section of single wall pipe. And here is a sample of what a pipe shield would look like. Basically, it bolts onto the outside of your single wall pipe, giving you reduced clearance down to 9 inches, whereas single wall pipe would have an 18-inch clearance. The double wall pipe we showed you earlier has a 6-inch clearance, so that's the best possible option if you need to reduce clearances. They do come with little spacers. And these are an example of roof support bars. Basically, we use 1/2-inch EMT conduit, pound them flat in the proper angles, drill some holes in it, glue it, and screw it to your pipe for roof support in windy or snow load zones. Consult your manual for better details. Okay, and to locate chimney pipe on our website, you'll click on the chimney pipe link. Go to wood stove chimney in this case. White metal products, that's the brand of chimney pipe we sell. 6-inch chimney. And we'll just take a look at the complete chimney system for an example. Now here we'll take a look at the larger image. Chimney cap, storm collar, flashing, an attic insulation shield may be necessary here if you have blown in insulation, ceiling support box, slip connector, interior single wall or double wall pipe. Now here on the website we do have quite a bit of information. You can add different sized flashings, different sized support boxes, and different styles of chimney pipe, interior pipe, slip connectors, etc. We do have our chimney installation sequence here, wood stove safety and maintenance tips here, how to install the DVL close clearance connector here. Quite a lot of good information. If you still have questions unanswered by the video or our website, please use the Contact Us link to send us an email with your questions. Feel free to include any photographs of your installation you might have, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for taking the time to watch our video, and have a nice day.